Hello, my name is Monique Carmela. I am a trauma-informed feminine empowerment, self-love, and relationships coach. I created the Good Girl Unleashed podcast as a way to support you on your journey to liberating yourself from limiting beliefs, trauma, suppression, so that we can all come home and live authentically and unapologetically. I support my clients and my community with resolving trauma, releasing suppressed emotions in a safe, supportive way that allows them to reconnect to their authentic self and create a deeply fulfilling life and rich, nourishing relationships. I am so grateful that you're here. Let's dive into today's episode. So I was on a call with one of my amazing clients today, and the theme came up around receiving and an inability to receive, or really reaching like a capacity. So reaching her edge where it was like, I'm receiving so much, and when I go to receive anything else, it's like I can't receive. My body's saying, nope, I can't receive anymore. This is too much. And she's also receiving externally from friends in her life, and it's feeling like there's something wrong with this. It doesn't feel right. It feels uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good. It's out of my comfort zone. It's really, it's foreign. It's foreign because she and many of the women that I work with, it's something that I've experienced myself. It's something I hear time and time again. Something that a lot of women struggle with is overgiving and people pleasing. And that's what becomes comfortable. That's what becomes known. And when we start to step back into our feminine state, our receiving state, it's very uncomfortable. It can be really scary. It can feel really vulnerable. Like I'm really open and there's stuff coming in, and this is just bringing up fears and stories and a sense of I'm not safe here. I'm not safe to be open to receive. And this can cause us to shut back down and push away and not allow others to give to us. It's also, we don't allow ourselves to give to ourselves. We're constantly giving to everyone else, trying to get needs met like love, acceptance, belonging, trying to make sure that people stick around, trying to avoid being abandoned, rejected, criticized, judged, all these things. And so we're putting ourselves into this way of being, this like overgiving state, wearing these masks, trying to protect ourselves. And it becomes really scary to step back into a receiving state. Many of us, the last time we were in a receiving state was when we were in infancy and early childhood, when we had to rely on others to meet our needs. And often if those needs did not get met, then it creates a wound of, I can't rely on others. I am not supported by others. My needs will not be met. If I ask for something, I'm going to be rejected or shut down or yelled at. It's not safe for me to receive. And maybe you were celebrated or acknowledged or encouraged or even maybe forced to give, to share with others, to give your stuff to someone else. Like when we're forced to share as a child, like give your toy to someone else, when it's like, I don't want to give my toy away. And we're kind of forced to be giving and people pleasing. Especially the conditioning around women, it's really encouraged and it's really deeply ingrained from generation to generation. Often our mothers and the women in our lives are also in this state of overgiving, overdoing, really stuck in the masculine energy, strongly disconnected from the feminine, because for many generations it was not okay to be in the feminine. It was not okay to be in our fullest expression and to really just fully receive and relish in that receiving. And so it's been shut down for many generations. Our expression has been shut down for many generations. And then there's also this feminist movement of like women can do anything that a man can do, and this kind of shift into like creating that equality, which has its benefits, but it also has areas where it actually hinders us. And it's forced us into being this masculine energy, doing all the things, self-sufficiency, independence, and almost like shaming when we're actually allowing ourselves to rely on someone or ask for something or get our needs met, especially by men. there can be this kind of block of it's not okay to receive from men, it's not safe to receive from men, men only want one thing. Like we start to get really curious about what are the stories here? What's actually running the show and dictating our lives right now? Because it's not about like we can't do these things for ourselves, but it's like we don't need to do everything ourselves, and we don't need to give to everyone else all of the things. We can also step into receiving and come back into our feminine energy and know that it's okay to receive, and you deserve to receive. There's layers here around deservingness and worthiness. So there's so much going on. If you are struggling with receiving, and that might be receiving from yourself, so kind words, like looking at your self-talk. It might be giving yourself a massage or investing in a program or a coach and really investing into yourself. It could be receiving from a partner, receiving sexually, or receiving compliments, receiving them doing stuff for you. A lot of the time they're like, they're not doing this and they're not showing up this way. It's like, well, are you able to receive that? And if they do the thing you want, are you acknowledging it, or are you just brushing it off and moving on? Are you appreciating them for doing the thing or for offering what you wanted from meeting that need? Or are we not even wanting to acknowledge that we've just received? Often we'll wait until we are so, so lacking, or so like our cup is so empty, or we've done so much for someone else that now we believe that we deserve to receive something in return, and then we're expecting it. We're like, I've done this, this, and this, now you must do this for me. And we're coming from almost this like a tacky kind of place, and this expectation and this pressure, like you have to do this to me. We're not even asking anymore. We're almost coming from a place of resentment that they haven't done it already. And no one really wants to give to someone that is asking or demanding from a place of resentment, and you should have already done this. You should have already known. I shouldn't have to ask. No one wants to give from that place. And if they give from that place, they can feel really emasculated. They can feel really hurt. They can feel really resentful toward you. They can feel icky about it. It's not a nice exchange. When we come from our heart and from a place of asking from authenticity and heart space and love, and really giving that person an option, like they don't have to give this, but it would be really beautiful to receive this. It's a very different exchange. It's actually a really beautiful thing to give from our hearts and to receive from our hearts, to allow others to give from their heart. So giving can actually be really enjoyable. But when we're giving from a place of self-sacrificing, a place of I have to give in order to get, a place of demanding and resentment, all of that creates really icky, yucky exchanges that don't feel good for anyone involved. So we really want to get curious about how this is playing out in our own lives. What is your relationship with giving? What is your relationship with receiving? And so I have actually jotted down some different contemplations for you to sit with. So this will be a really beautiful journaling practice to become really aware of what is going on for you, so that you can open up to receiving, and you can receive not only within your relationships, but also in life. So when I'm maybe setting an intention, or when I'm wanting to manifest or receive something in my life or in my business, then I'm more open and receptive to that. We need to get curious about what is blocking the receiving of that. So taking a few moments here just to take some deep breaths and to really sit with what's already been shared. And I'm just going to start to share with you some more contemplations and questions. You can press pause at any time if you want to go deeper with this and really take the time to contemplate and journal. So when it comes to expanding your capacity to receive, there's a lot of deep inner work that is required here. But I do want to just take note here that it's not about healing all the things and doing all of the work that you believe is required before you can receive. It is a journey and it's a dance. So you might kind of touch one layer or one piece of what's blocking you, and all of a sudden it opens up. I'm seeing almost like streams of water and like a river and like almost a system of different streams of water. And so we might unblock one stream and we start to receive. And then maybe we hit a block again. And so we're hitting the next layer and we work through that, and then we open up another stream. And so there are milestones, there are layers and levels of this. So I want to just put that in here, because sometimes we're like, I've got to do all the work, and so before I can receive. And so in that, we're actually blocking ourselves from receiving along the way. So you may start to receive one thing from your partner, but you're still not receiving in another area. Like maybe they start taking out the trash, but you're struggling to receive in more of a sexual way or more of a deep intimacy connection way. Maybe they're, say, more able to listen to you and hold space, and so you're having more time to have conversation, but maybe they're still not helping heaps around the house or with the children. Or so there are different ways that we receive. Can you take more time and space to acknowledge where you are receiving and where people are showing up for you? Can you take time to acknowledge what you have already received and what you already have present in your life? Can you step into that appreciation of what I already have, how my partner is already showing up, how I already have certain things that I desire in my business or in my workplace or in my friendships, in my family, what I already have, where the blessings are already present. There's a really beautiful quote: the subtle secret to possessing all that you desire is blessing all that you already have. So there is so much power in gratitude and appreciation, but not appreciating to get. So I'm not going to just do my gratitude practice so I can get more to be grateful for. I want it to come from a deep authenticity. And maybe you start from that place. That's okay too. It's all part of the journey. Maybe you're doing your gratitude practice and you don't really feel the sensation or the emotion of gratitude and appreciation straight away. I definitely didn't in the beginning of my journey, and so that's okay. It's part of it. But can I just start to get into a practice of noticing, wow, I have a roof over my head. I'm so blessed. Wow, I have food in my belly. I'm so blessed. Wow, I'm warm tonight. Or wow, I have a partner. I have someone that's in my life willing to do life with me. I have my child. What a blessing. Or wow, like it's a sunny day and I'm receiving the rays of the sun. Or it's a cloudy, overcast day and I'm receiving like almost this, for me, it feels like this big cuddle and this hibernation and like this beautiful invitation to go inward. Can I just start to see what's already present in my life? Oh, my partner took out the trash. Amazing. Thank you so much. Oh, my partner noticed my hair today. Thank you so much. Or someone acknowledged my work and gave me really amazing feedback. Or they just said, wow, that's really cool. Like, good job. Or they noticed the dress that I'm wearing. Or my friend appreciated me. Or a client reached out and was just so grateful for the work that I've done. And I'm so receiving that. Can you just notice the seemingly small things that actually could be really big things if we gave them that acknowledgement? So that would be a really beautiful practice to start expanding your capacity to receive more. And also to be able to like expand your capacity with the sensation of receiving, the sensations of being in the wonderful, in the happy. Because a lot of us don't actually have a lot of capacity and tolerance for feeling good. It's easier to feel anxious, to feel shitty, to feel pissed off, to feel in the lack, to feel scarcity, because that's what we know and that's what we've practiced feeling for many years, sometimes even decades. It's also what tends to be passed down through the generations. So we've passed down this capacity for feeling like shit, for feeling scarce, for feeling lack. For feeling disappointment and pissed off. And so we notice these recurring patterns of feeling more of that. And now we want to expand our capacity for feeling the good, the wonderful, the happy, the bliss, the pleasure, the joy. little by little, step by step, so we don't overwhelm our system. Because actually feeling good is really intense when you don't allow yourself to feel good very often. So we can actually be unconsciously pushing away good things and wonderful experiences because there is part of us that's like, that's too much for me to feel. I can't handle that. It's too intense. And a lot of this is unconscious. We're like, why would I push away what I want or what I say I want? Because part of us is maybe benefiting from not having that and also afraid to fully feel the intensity of having it. So this brings me into the next part of our contemplation and our journey here is, what do I get from overgiving? What do I get from people pleasing? What do I receive from doing this? Because a lot of the time we're shaming ourselves for overgiving, for people pleasing, like, oh, I'm people pleasing again. Oh, this isn't serving me. What if it is? What if people pleasing is actually serving on some level? What if it actually is benefiting you on some level? When we overgive and people please, maybe we're receiving love or acceptance or belonging. Maybe we feel it's what's preventing people from leaving, from abandoning, from rejecting us. How is this benefiting me? So feel free to pause at any time if you just need to integrate or process what's being shared. And also if you want to journal on these different points or even journaling what's really resonating for you. The next piece is, how does this hurt me? How does overgiving and people pleasing hurt me or affect me or impact me in a negative way? How does it hurt others? If I'm people pleasing and overgiving, how is it actually negatively impacting those around me? So maybe you have a child and you're teaching them how to overgive and people please and self-sacrifice. Maybe you're actually negatively impacting someone because you're giving so much to them, you're taking away the ability for them to learn how to give those things to themselves. And so they're becoming reliant on you. So then that's actually benefiting you because they're reliant on you. They're not going to go anywhere. But that's actually negatively impacting the both of you because now you're having to give so much and it's creating a pattern of having to keep giving. It's causing them to rely on you and not actually learn how to do these things for themselves. And it's creating them to become like takers and like taking more and more and more. There's a lack of boundaries here, so I'm lacking in boundaries. I'm not honoring my own boundaries, so I'm actually hurting my relationship to self, and I'm enabling others to cross those boundaries. I'm also not really showing others how to set boundaries. So again, this is something you can keep exploring. How else is this negatively impacting you and those around you? So then you can start to see how it is benefiting and how it's not benefiting not only you, but those around you. And then you can start to actually become aware and conscious of, is this something I want to continue? And when we stop the overgiving and the self-sacrificing, it doesn't mean we don't give anymore. It just means that we give from a very different place and we put boundaries in place that say, okay, my cup is actually maybe feeling a bit empty, or it's out of my capacity to give to you in this way right now. I'm not able to do that, or I'm not willing to do that. Maybe it's like, this is something I want to give, but I actually need to fill up my own cup before I can give that. Or maybe it's actually, you know what, that is not in my desire to give anymore. I don't want to give in that way because it creates resentment and it causes a lot of chaos in our relationship, because as this resentment is building, I'm getting resentful toward you, I'm getting critical, I'm getting short-tempered, and it's causing a lot of disconnection, so it's not actually serving either of us. So this is how we become aware as well of what our boundaries are, what our needs are, by getting really curious about, where am I overgiving? How is this benefiting? How is this not benefiting? What is my next step here? Next, I want to invite you into, where are you afraid? So what am I afraid of when it comes to receiving? What am I afraid of when it comes to stopping the cycle of overgiving? How could receiving hurt me? What am I afraid of? If I were to step fully into my feminine receptive state, if I were to fully allow myself to receive, what am I afraid of? Afraid of losing it. Sometimes we're like, if I receive this, what if it gets taken away? Maybe it's afraid that I'm not worthy of receiving. Maybe it's afraid if I stop over giving, I'll lose someone in my life. Maybe if I receive, I'll be seen as greedy. I'll be judged. What am I afraid of when it comes to receiving? How might receiving hurt me? What blocks me from receiving? Why do I push away receiving? So again, just sitting with these questions, and the answers might not come through straight away, but the longer we just sit with them and contemplate and open up to receiving the answers, they will come through. Sometimes we don't want to receive the answers, and that's another contemplation. Why don't I want to receive these answers if nothing's coming through? Why don't I want to receive these? Because if I receive the answers, then I've got to take responsibility. I've got to take action. I've got to do the work. And that's scary. What's it going to uncover? What if I can't handle it? What if this doesn't work for me? What if I do all the work and I still don't receive or get what I want? And then that leads to disappointment. I don't want to feel disappointment. Maybe I'll feel the rage of when I didn't receive what I needed to receive as a child or as an infant. Maybe it's going to open up deep hurt or deep wounds, and I'm afraid of that. Maybe I don't know how to handle that. And if these things are resonating for you as I'm saying them, and you're like, oh, that hits, that resonates, that's like, ugh. That's where it's like there's an invitation here to get support to do this work. So work with a coach or a mentor that you trust and feel safe with to go into these deeper layers, because you're going to go much deeper and you're going to move through these blocks and layers at a much more exponential rate, but at a safer in a safer way. So you're going to feel really held and supported, and you're going to know that you're safe to go into these deep wounds and these deep beliefs, and you're going to be able to integrate them much more effectively. So if this is something that you want, that you're ready to delve into, that you're ready to do the work around, if I am someone that you feel safe to work with and you trust, and you maybe just want to have a conversation around what does that look like, feel free to reach out. I do offer complimentary discovery calls to see if we are a right fit as well. So just sitting with this, what's coming up for you right now? And we can start to shift this now of, how could receiving benefit me? How could receiving benefit me? If I were to fully allow myself to step into that feminine receiving state, how could this benefit me? How could this benefit those around me? Because when I receive, I have more to give. When my cup is full, I love to give. It actually fills me up and nourishes me to give. I feel so good. I want to share it. And then giving is actually a really enjoyable experience. And then it's more enjoyable for others as well, because they feel like this abundance and this joy and this beautiful energy, this loving energy that they're receiving. It also shows others how this can be really beneficial for them, so it supports others to step into their receiving. That's what I love about doing this work, is it's not about being like selfish in a way of, I'm just going to take everything for me. It's not about being greedy. It's about like realizing that you deserve to receive abundantly, and so do we all. And when I receive abundantly, everyone around me receives abundantly. I have so much more to give to my partner. I have so much more to give to my children. I'm not short-tempered. I'm so much more loving and nice to be around. I'm enjoyable to be around. And then I'm also able to pour so much more into my work, into my community, into my clients, because I'm so full and overflowing in such a beautiful way. If I don't allow myself to receive, I get empty pretty quickly. I get burnt out, stressed, short-tempered, anxious, and how beneficial or supportive can I really be in the lives of those around me? So for myself personally, I resonate with being an overgiver, people-pleasing, self-sacrificing for many, many years. When I realized that actually in giving to myself and also allowing myself to receive from others, support from coaches, from my partner, from my family, from my friends, from life, from the universe, I have so much more to give, and it comes from a very different, beautiful place. Next, what do I need in order to receive? What do I need? Do I need to heal something? Do I need to integrate something? Do I need to know that I'm safe to receive? Do I need support? Do I need to know that I'll be loved? Do I need to know that I'll be accepted? What do I need in order to allow myself to fully receive? And how can I start to give that to myself? So sitting with that one, what do I need in order to receive, and how can I give that to myself? From here, you can start to move into, what do I desire to receive? Maybe what am I afraid of receiving? What do I not want to receive? So you can maybe even do some columns for these. What do I desire to receive? What am I afraid of receiving? What do I not want to receive? And so something else that came up in my call today with my client was reaching your capacity of receiving. So as you start to do this work and you're starting to receive, sometimes we're like, or maybe you're giving to yourself and you're receiving from yourself, and you kind of get to this point like, no more receiving. It's too much. It's too intense. I don't want any more. I can't handle anymore. This is beautiful. You have reached your edge and you have become aware of what that edge is. And so now it's time to actually meet that edge and meet that resistance and meet that part of you that's saying no more, and actually honor that part, honor your no. This is such a powerful part of the journey as well. So many of us that resonate with overgiving, people-pleasing, and self-sacrificing don't know how to say no. This is you saying no to receiving. Can you honor your no and allow that to be part of your process in expanding to receive more? Can I sit with what I've already received? So maybe your capacity is like, I've given myself 20 minutes to be in the bath, or I've given myself like that, I've taken myself out for a coffee, or I've taken myself to get a massage, or I've said some kind words to myself. I've taken 20 minutes to do my journaling. Maybe there's only one thing that you're able to do for yourself, or 20 minutes that you're allowing for yourself. Maybe it's 2 minutes of kind words. Maybe it's 2 minutes of deep breathing, and that's your capacity. Honor that. Thank yourself. Thank you for these 2 minutes. Thank you for these deep breaths. Thank you for this delicious coffee. Thank you for this massage. Appreciation is so key. You meet this part that's saying, no, I can't handle this. I can't handle anymore. And you honor that. And you're like, thank you for letting me know your capacity. Thank you for letting me know that this is a no for you. I want to honor that. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to honor your no. If your partner is like giving to you, and you're doing this practice with your partner of like practicing giving to them and practicing receiving from them, and maybe you've asked for something, you're asking them to give you words of affirmation or loving words or kind words, and they've been doing this for maybe 3 days, and it's like, it's too much, and you let them know, actually, I'm so grateful for all of the beautiful things that you're saying, but I've actually reached my capacity, and this is feeling really intense for my nervous system, and I need a bit of a breather, or I need maybe a bit less. And you just give them some guidance of what would be supportive and then what's not supportive. So even if they're doing something that's really kind, maybe they're helping out heaps more around the house, and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? All the things are done, like, and you're starting to feel anxious around that, or it's starting to feel like this is too much. Can you open that conversation? And then as you expand your capacity to receive, you can let them know and be like, I've actually expanded my capacity. I'm feeling more available to receive. I'm more able to receive more. Can we explore that together? And same with yourself, like, okay, I'm honoring my own no. I've like said some kind words to myself today, and that's feeling I'm at my capacity. Can I honor that? And then tomorrow, can I try again? And each day, can you just give to yourself a little bit more? Not too much where it's overwhelming, but just a little bit more. A little bit more. And then maybe the following week, you can go for that massage that you didn't feel that you were deserving of or worthy of, and you can give yourself that massage. And then maybe the next week, you can take yourself out on a date, or you can do something that you really desire. So when you go to that list of what do I desire to receive, you can give yourself some more. Maybe your 20 minutes of journaling extends to 30 minutes, or maybe you take an hour for yourself. But you want to take it step by step to work within your nervous system. And if this gets confusing to you, you can play around with it, like, let me give this to myself and see how that feels. If you're really struggling to give anything to yourself, this is where I would really recommend working with someone to really help you expand that capacity. And even in that is really a giving to yourself. I am choosing to ask for support and receive that support. I actually have a really amazing program where we go deeper into this receiving, which is the deep pleasure and the confidence to express. There's a journey inside confidence to express that actually supports you in getting really attuned to your no's and your yeses and really receiving. So deep pleasure is all about really coming into a receiving state and connecting to your inner pleasure. And then confidence to express is really allowing yourself to express, but there's a journey inside that one where we're getting really clear on what's our no, what's our yes, and how do we honor that. Currently, I have an incredible bundle offer. So when you join the Deeply Connected Couples program that's starting on, it's actually starting this Saturday, you're going to get confidence to express for free. So if you're ready to journey together, come and join me for Deeply Connected Couples. It is something that you can do alone or with a partner. Even if you don't have a partner, you're going to get so much out of it because you're going to start to build the foundations of your relationship to self. And we will go into receiving inside of there, but you'll also get confidence to express included for free, and you'll get access to that journey that I'm talking about. It's a guided womb journey. And it's connecting to what's my yes, what's my no, and how do I really honor that. So I'll pop the links for those below. If you have any questions, just feel free to message me directly. So really, my invitation for you here is to practice receiving by giving to yourself in small ways to start with. So rather than waiting to receive from outside of yourself, receive internally. Even practice with your breath. Receive your breath. Receive the nourishment of your breath. Breathe that breath deeply into the belly. And let it go. Receive that breath, let it go. And even just giving yourself 2 to 5 minutes of deep breathing with the intention to receive is going to be really, really powerful. Also, the appreciation practice. So really appreciating yourself, like acknowledging yourself, celebrating yourself, the small wins, the big wins, everything in between, even things that we feel like don't deserve to be celebrated because we kind of have like, oh, it has to be something big in order to celebrate it. I can celebrate the fact that I'm here today. I can celebrate the fact that I got out of bed today. I can celebrate the fact that I fed myself today, especially if you're in a space where it's really hard. Maybe you're struggling to really get through the day or really nourish yourself. Celebrate the small things. Celebrate yourself every day. And as you do more of this, as you compliment yourself, as you express gratitude to yourself, acknowledge yourself, celebrate yourself, give yourself these gifts, you're going to expand your capacity to receive more. So maybe today you can only think of one thing to be grateful for. Maybe you can only think of one celebration. Then maybe tomorrow or next week you can think of a few more, and it gets easier the more that you do it. But if you do it once and then you do it next month, it's going to take a really long time to expand that capacity. It is something that we need to be consistent with. I really encourage you to do it daily. So maybe it's one appreciation and one celebration. And then you can build up to doing 2 appreciations, 2 celebrations, and then you can build up to 3. For me, I stick to 3 a day, 3 of each, because it keeps it within it's easy to do. As soon if we start to try and do like a full page of gratitude and a full page of celebration and then doing all this other work and then doing all these other things that are on our list, it starts to become work, and it can become like really challenging and unsustainable. And then we tend to start giving up things that aren't essential, which often we deem our celebration or our gratitude practice as not essential. I believe it is essential, but there will be something in our survival brain that says this is not essential, I'm going to cut it. Just like when we go into survival mode and we go into kind of just getting through the day and we're just doing like the bare minimum or the essential things and we're not really taking the time to nourish ourselves, this is where we start to get really depleted. So really taking the time to do this for yourself. And then if you can give to yourself in other ways, so like a bath or some time to journal, or even listening to this podcast episode is giving yourself a really beautiful gift. And then also practicing receiving from others. So when someone else is giving to you, can you really take the time to acknowledge it? And notice when you reject what others are giving to you, or when you brush off compliments and you're like, oh no, I look terrible today. Someone gives you a compliment saying, oh, you look so amazing, or I really love that dress. You're like, oh no, like this dress is really horrible. It makes me look like this. Or we actually reject what someone is giving to us, which is actually hurtful to them and hurtful to ourselves. When we're not acknowledging what our partner is doing or how they are showing up, that's hurtful to them and it's hurtful to us. Where so many of us are wired to focus on lack. So I want to start practicing, focusing on the receiving. What am I receiving? What have I already received? What's already present in my life? Give yourself that permission to receive. Thank you for being here. I'm so grateful to be able to share this with you, to be on my journey, and where I am at within my own journey of receiving is really incredible to experience and to reflect on, and to now be able to share this with you. I would love to hear your biggest takeaways from this, what you really got from it, and what you're ready to implement. And if you're ready to delve deeper and you want to explore working together, feel free to reach out and let's have that conversation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to the Good Girl Unleashed podcast. If you are loving this content, go ahead and subscribe to be notified of upcoming episodes. Please leave a 5-star review to help me get these powerful teachings and practices to those who need it. If you would like to submit a question or would like to know more about how we can work together, send me an email to info@moniquecarmela.com. So much love to you, beautiful human. Until next time.